Dr. King, thank you for joining me today. It's truly an honor.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
So, the tragic death of George Floyd has sparked widespread protest and calls for justice. What are your thoughts on the events that have unfolded since this passing?
The events following George Floyd's death are both heartbreaking and a testament to the urgent need for change. His death, like so many before him, has exposed the deep-seated systemic issues of racism and inequality that continue to plague our society. The protests and the voices demanding justice are a powerful reminder that the struggle for civil rights is far from over.
The protests have at times turned into instances of violence and destruction. How do you view this aspect of the response?
Nonviolence has always been at the core of our movement for justice. It is important to understand the frustration and anger that can lead to such actions. But I must emphasize that violence only begets more violence. To truly honor George Floyd's memory and create lasting change, we must channel our energy into constructive and nonviolent means of protest. As I've said before, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Many are calling for widespread reforms in law enforcement and criminal justice. What specific changes do you believe are necessary to address these issues?
The need for reform is evident, and I fully support those advocating for meaningful changes. We must address the racial biases ingrained within our criminal justice system, starting with comprehensive training to prevent racial profiling and excessive use of force. Additionally, we should establish community-led oversight boards to ensure accountability and transparency. Education and economic opportunities must also be prioritized to uplift marginalized communities, as economic injustice is closely intertwined with racial injustice.
Yeah, absolutely. Some argue that progress has been made over the years, but events like George Floyd's death highlight how much work remains. What is your message to those who believe we should be further along in achieving racial equality?
Progress has indeed been made, but let us not forget that the journey towards equality is a long and arduous one. Change does not happen overnight, and setbacks are unfortunately part of the process. What's crucial is that we remain steadfast in our commitment to justice. To those who feel impatient, I say, let your frustration fuel your determination, not your despair. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
How do you envision the path forward, especially in uniting a divided nation to address these pressing issues?
Unity begins with dialogue and understanding. We must engage in open and honest conversations about race, even when they are uncomfortable. True unity is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice and equity. Let us come together, regardless of our backgrounds, to forge a common understanding of the challenges we face and the solutions we must pursue. As I've said, we must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools.
Thank you, Dr. King, for sharing your insights and your wisdom. Your words continue to inspire and guide us in our pursuit of a more just and equitable society.
Thank you. Let us all remember that the struggle for justice is a collective effort, and together we can create a world where the content of one's character truly matters more than the color of their skin.